Hello, everyone, and welcome to our third webinar leading up to ILTACON 2024. Each webinar helps guide you through a different stage of preparation, so be sure not to miss any of them. Before we begin, I have a couple of standard housekeeping items. I'm Tracy McCrae with ILTA, and I'm joined today by Dawn Hudgens, Tyler Howes, Ashley Kowitz, Jessica Likens, Courtney Oliver, and Sharon Stewart, all dedicated to your success at ILTACON. We will be recording this webinar and posting a link to the recording and a slide deck to the ILTACON webinars page within about 24 hours. Please use the Q&A and chat boxes to ask any questions as we go through the webinar. Today's webinar is full of valuable information and will run approximately 40 to 45 minutes, so be sure to take lots of notes as we go along. We'll cover sponsorship opportunities in depth, talk about how to request reception space during ILTACON, and also review the booth lottery, preparing for selection calls, the all-important reminder about applying to speak at ILTACON, and some important dates and webinars. Stay tuned until the end when Dawn will also share how you can win a dinner at Old Hickory. With that, I turn it over to Dawn, who will share a couple of important notices before diving into the sponsorship opportunities. Dawn?
Thanks, Tracy. So I do want to just jump right out of the gate. I know that a lot of you have been receiving emails regarding housing and attendee lists. I do want you to know that ILTA does not sell their attendee lists. So if they're providing you with a list, I really don't know where they got it from. If you receive something like that, please feel free to send it over to me. I do like to respond to these people and ask them to stop doing that, because all it does is create confusion for you guys. And if you actually purchase them, you're losing money because it's not accurate. And the same way with the housing poachers. So our rate for ILTACON 2024 is a really low rate, and we also have the entire property. So I'm not exactly sure what they'll be selling you, but it won't be on property. And if it's off property, it could cause some issues. And I say this because I've actually done that before when I was on the business partner side for Legal Week. And although I did end up having a room to stay in, I spent a lot of hours on the phone trying to rectify some issues that I had. So that was not a very smart move on my behalf, but I did not know any better at that point, and I do know better now. So I'm sharing that knowledge with you. Also, we do have the business partner portal coming soon, so be on the lookout for that. This will have really everything you will need to know in order to have a very successful ILTACON. All right. So when we start on the sponsorships, I'm going to just go because there's a lot of them that we need to cover. I do want you to notice how you actually access the sponsorship prospectus. We are on version 11. So when you open that on our website, which you find on the ILTACON site under sponsors and under 2024 prospectus, it will say version 11. That is the most recent version. I guess it is possible we may have to do another version in the future, but at the moment we're on 11, and that's what we're going to be focusing on today. We have a video that was taken back in January where we walked the entire property, walking through the different opportunities for sponsorship. The link for that is posted here. I encourage you to take a look at that. It's going to show you where everything really is in the entire property. And it'll give you some good insight to some key hot spots where we're placing some things so that you can see where you can put your branding in order to be seen best. All right, now let's take a look at the property. Property is, it's a lot. And because it's a lot of property, we have lots of opportunities. For our demo rooms, we have 3 different levels of demo rooms. We have the demo rooms that are available all week. We have some demo rooms that are available for 3 days. And then we have some demo rooms that are available for 1 day. The next few slides will actually walk through where each of these are, how much they cost, and when they are available. So starting off here, you can kind of see based on coloration where certain things will be put throughout the property. And then let's take a look at our 7,500 demo rooms. This is on the Delta mezzanine. We have the bayou and the canal All of these rooms are very large rooms. They're also accessed through an elevator bank that takes you from the registration area of the Delta on up. And so that's a great space to be in. If you take a look at the presidential mezzanine, we have our Jackson and our Lincoln. These rooms are also a really good size. And those are available at $7,500 as well. The Delta Islands are a little different. We have a few different sizes. They are located on the upper levels in the Delta area. And so it's actually, they have a lot of ambiance to them. They're really good space. If you're using signage on the outside, people are going to see them as they're walking through. So consider these as well. We're going to continue on to the Ryman ballrooms and the Ryman studios. You can see how those are actually listed differently there. These are located just outside of our exhibit hall area. I mean, it is a few feet, but it's kind of basically on the same level. And I use that term very loosely because if you've been to this property, it is not a solid level 1, level 2, level 3. It's a level 1 with a mezzanine step up, step down, kind of like an MC Escher painting, if you're familiar with him. But it's relatively close by, so it's located in a good location. These are also available for the entire week, as well as the Ryman Studios. Those are located on the outer area. And now we're getting into something we've not really offered before. And this is based on when we get access to these rooms and some of the rules that are put on us by the hotel because of where these rooms are located. And that's really important to remember. As we've talked about before on these webinars, when you have a demo room and you ship your items to ILTACON, you'll have two different shipments if you have an exhibit, if you're exhibiting and doing demo. You have your freight that goes directly to the exhibit hall that's labeled one way, and then you have your freight that is labeled another way that goes to your demo room. But if you get these rooms, no freight can be delivered at all. And it's really important for you to know that because you're going to be very disappointed if you ship it. You will not have access to the freight that you shipped for your demo room if you have a demo room in this area. These are available from Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. They're available for $5,000. And for freight like signage and that type of stuff, what you're going to be doing is what you can carry into the space is what you'll be able to decorate the space with. It's really important to remember. We go to the next slide. Same way regarding freight on these are a little bit different. These are available by the day. They are available for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as well. We cannot have freight delivered here. And these will already be set up with a little bit of furniture, but that's pretty much the only decor that'll be in there. So you are welcome to bring pop-up banners and those types of things that you can carry in for those day-rated demo rooms. Now, I know suites are always a real hot topic with this group. And so I want us to take a moment and really talk about these because we have a couple of different kinds here. And I want you to remember that this property is a little different from Gaylord National. This property usually hosts, they host big names that perform at the Grand Ole Opry at the Ryman Auditorium. And so the suites that we have on this property that are available, we have 3 that are available, are absolutely massive. They will rival many of our homes in size, and they are elaborately decorated, and that is because why they are used. I bring this up because although we do have 3 of these available at $10,000, and you can see where those are located on the property, on the next slide, you will see our deluxe suites. These have a great deal of space too, but they're not considered the presidential suites. We have quite a few of these that are available. If you take a look at this photo, it does show a bed down in this space. That's just for a visual to show you that that has a Murphy bed in it. But there's also a bedroom that is lockable off to this if you choose to get this. And these spaces have a lot of space. You've got a full sofa, you have a small sitting area, you have a small kitchen, you have a dining room table / conference table, the fireplace and a television in there. So it's a really good size space to be able to entertain in and to have meetings in. So know that when if the presidential suites are gone, it's okay. There's some really great rooms that are still left. So I did want to bring that up. Now we're going to switch over to the prospectus. And Tracy's going to show you how you get there. And now we're going to talk about branding. There are a million things to brand at the Gaylord Opryland. So let's just jump into that. The two things that you guys need to know about right out of the gate, because the deadlines are soon. The first one you're not seeing on this page just yet, but that is the registration page on our website. You can purchase a banner to go on that registration page. And considering registration is opening on April 16th, the faster you purchase that and get us your assets for us to be able to build that banner on the website, the more people who are going to see your name when they go to register. So most people start going out to our registration page about a week to 2 weeks in advance of it launching. And then, of course, you have a tremendous amount of traffic between then and the time that the conference actually starts. The second item that has the earliest deadline regarding getting your logo is our meeting bags. And we like to have those about mid-April. I usually send those to press around the last week of April to be able to get those in time. And I know that seems like a long lead time, but trust me, I'm not kidding when I say that every year I have an argument with the people to provide those to us earlier, and we don't ever seem to be able to get it. But we do have lots of items in here. We have our t-shirts for ILTACON. You can put your logo on the back, not just your name. Years ago, we used to just do the name, and now you can actually have your logo on the back. We have our ILTACON lanyards, and this is an exclusive opportunity. And you can do meeting bag inserts. This is a great way when people come by and they've picked up their registration badge and the bag. It's full of this type of stuff. I would recommend, if you choose to do this, to be creative on what you put in there. Don't let it just be another piece of paper that everybody else does. Think outside the box. Let it really state something about your organization so that they remember you as they're going through that. If we take a look at the next slide, we have our cylinder signage. We've been doing these the last 2 years. And so you've seen those if you've been to our event, as well as our exhibit hall banner space. We also have a conference notebook. We will be doing that again this year. The reason we do this has to do with the amount of adoption that we have for our app for the conference. And it is increasing, but until we have 100%, we will produce conference notebooks so that everyone has access to our agenda and the activities that are going on during ILTACON. You can also do a room drop. Those start at 7,500, and we have 3 of those quantities that are available. We have the Delta Atrium lighted curtain. Now, if you have had the opportunity to visit Gaylord Opryland in the Delta Pavilion area, there's a fountain, there's a little town there with like little restaurants and the above demo rooms that we have available there. We will be having our opening reception in that area on Sunday evening, but there's this beautiful curtain that kind of surrounds that area, and you can actually purchase that and put your logo and your colors on that, and it can play during that entire evening during the conference. So if you're interested in that, let us know and we can get that quoted out for you. You can also do key cards and key card holders at the conference. And then there's also a fountain and the bridge. And this is done through your company lighting. It's an opportunity that you can take a look at as well. So if you're interested in that, let us know. We have the mobile app platform. We have session intermission slide deck inserts. Now, this is something new that we're doing this year. There's a lot of time spent from our attendees going to sessions, from sessions, sitting in sessions, and they also get there early. And sometimes they have conversations afterward, and sometimes they duck back into those rooms also for breaks. So this is an opportunity for you to do a slide insert into this deck so that people see your logo, they know your booth number if you put that on that slide, so that they can come see you elsewhere, whether it be your demo or in the exhibit hall, and get to know a little bit more about your organization. We have our wireless network, which is an exclusive opportunity. And then we have our session recordings. Now, I do want to point out that our session recordings, once they are uploaded, they will stay active on our site. And everyone who has registered for ILTACON has access to these recordings from that date until the start of the next ILTACON. In 2023, we had 5,900 plus downloads of those recordings. So this is something that people go back and they look at and they listen to, because there's no way you can attend every session. So it's a great way to get your name out there as well for that sponsorship opportunity. Now we're getting into banners and clings. Oh my heavens, there's lots of things to cling and put flags on at this property. Some of them are exclusive, which means you can put just your information on there. Others, we are asking for a little assistance and allowing us to put our circular ILTACON logo on the bottom or the top or both of some of these. And here you'll see the column banners that are in the Cascade area. The Cascade is where you actually enter to register guest registration for your room, where you pick up your keys for your room. That is also where the Falls bar is located and the Cascades restaurant is located. So there's a lot of activity that takes place in that area. So we have signage there that's available. We have lamp posts that are literally available throughout the entire property, but there are those that are located in Cascades as well. And then we also have these lollipop signs. Now we have Cascade interior and exterior doors. You can see what is available for you. Those that aren't available for you, we will be taking to market for ILTACON in itself. But this is where everyone has to enter to come into the hotel or exit the hotel if they're catching an Uber or getting their car. So a lot of people are going to be seeing that. So that's a great side as well. Here's the interior portion of that. And if we go on to the garden atrium, lots of banner opportunities, and you'll see this throughout the entire property, lots of banner opportunities off of railings, as well as more lamp posts. In the Magnolia lobby and the mezzanine area, this is where those day and 3-day demo rooms are located. We have glass railing where banners can be hung on those, as well as some column wraps in that area. So you can see those are listed here. And each column, if you take a look on the left-hand side here of this photo, you'll see each column is numbered out too. So if you choose to have a demo room in one of these specific numbered or lettered rooms, you could, potentially choose those columns right outside of those to wrap as well for extended branding. In the Tennessee lobby, which is getting really close to the heart of the entire event, we have banners that are available here. These are above door frames. They are above hanging from the ceiling, hanging down, and also going in the district. The district area is located below the Magnolia area. And the district is where you're going to find the Jack Daniel's restaurant. You're going to find, I'm not sure what it'll be called by the time we get there, but it's been called a bunch of different stuff. There's a bar that's located in there, and then there's also a sports bar. A lot of people go in through there to eat and drink. So your stuff will definitely be seen if you choose to banner or clean any of that area. In the presidential lobby area, we also have the ability for you to clean elevator doors here. So that is an opportunity that we have, as well as areas above the doors that go through the presidential area to the Tennessee area. Lots of traffic will be flowing through there. Now, in the presidential area, there is an actual large pre-function area where we will have events throughout the week. You can see that in the upper left photo of what that large area looks like. Around the railing, from the second level down, you can see where you can put banners as well as above doorways and going down the stairwells too. So this is a heavily trafficked area. In the Delta lobby and atrium, a lot of branding opportunities here. And I will just go ahead and say some of these branding areas in the Delta are also more expensive. And if you want to know the reasoning why, as you're kind of looking at this, if you notice there's a lot of water there, it takes 6 persons to hang those banners at D1, DA1 over the water there. And so there's safety precautions and different things that play into that. That is why those are more expensive, but they are available. So you can see what we have available for you guys, as well as what we're taking in that space. The ones that have our ILTACON logo on it, we will be glad to put, if you're taking DM2 and DM3 over the convention center, we'll be happy to put your logos on the ends of our ILTACON banner as well, if you like. And then we have the areas, the photo that's over to the right where it's B, A/C. There are 5 of those available throughout the Delta lobby area. They are structural, so they're located very strategically throughout that space, and those are available to banner as well. On the Delta registration lobby area, on that top photo, you can see where we will have registration. And so those 3 center red banners there are for our use. But to the right and to the left of that are areas where you can purchase sponsorship for banners. And then the columns in that area are also available for you. And you can see the diagram at the bottom that shows you where these columns are located and what they're numbered so that you can strategically get your brand where you would like to have it. If you take a look at DL1A, 2A, that area, those doors actually lead into 3 of our education rooms. And then on the far right where it says DL5, that area actually takes you into the area where we're going to have our opening session and keynotes and our closing party on Thursday night. So a tremendous amount of traffic in this area. This is also where you're going to have your member and business partner registration that will be taking place here as well. On this next slide, this takes us to the Delta barroom doors. It's a little bit deeper into what we just saw where the diagram was. You can see where we have lots of wall space for clings, as well as banners that can hang in particular areas if you want to get the attention of those going into education sessions or the opening session, or for people who are just standing in line at registration to look around. In this area too, we also have escalators. There are many escalators throughout this property. They are all brandable. And you can see the cost for the escalators here, as well as the lobby kiosks and additional lampposts. For the Delta Islands, there's lots of opportunity for banners. If you happen to have a demo room that is located on the 2nd floor of the Delta Islands, it's a great way to put banners out here that anyone will be able to see if they're walking by or if they're at our opening reception, or even if they're choosing to take a boat ride throughout the property. The boat is also brandable with multiple banners, and we are working toward adding in that as a bonus if you choose to get those banners on the boat. Some passes for you to be able to give to some of your customers and potential customers for a boat ride, which is actually kind of cool. Where we have the banner here in the bottom left, this is also visible not only from the river area, but during our reception on Sunday night and anyone who happens to be traveling through the Delta area. Also here, you'll notice that we have 44 different opportunities in the Delta Island areas for lamp post banners. More escalators going down to the Ryman exhibit hall. So we do have more clingables for the Ryman escalators, as well as banners that will hang down over the escalator as you go down to that area where the exhibit hall will be. These are also visible not only from any of the Delta Island registration, bridge areas, but also visible from the exhibit hall. There are additionally water fountains that you can brand as well that will be located throughout the property. And let's take a look at the actual exhibit hall. This is the exhibit hall opening. We have 5 banners that are sponsorable that will be hanging over those doors. There are, I'm not sure, I don't think I counted them, but it looks like there are 10 entry doors going into the exhibit hall. All 10 of those will be open for people to enter. What you will have to do is go through some stanchions in that pre-function area there to be able to go through security, and then you're able to go into any door that you choose to go into the exhibit hall. These are the only doors that will be open for the exhibit hall. Any other doors will be closed and for exit only, and if they get propped open, we will come by and close them as well as security. In the center section here, you can kind of see there's a roundabout platform there. That platform is where we will have musicians that will be available throughout the week performing. They'll be performing in other places too, but this is one of the spots where they will be performing, and we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. We have a pre-conference newsletter. There are 4 of those that go out. So if you're looking at sponsoring that, it does go to anyone who is registered at the time of the email actually going out. So as we get closer to conference, more people will be receiving those. We also have app push notifications. We have a conference daily newsletter, which was actually asked by our members to bring back. We brought it back last year. This year we're bringing it back again, but we're adding additional ones on as well. And this is the click rates on this is pretty high as far as people opening and reading them, just so you know. We have web advertising. We have registration web page, which I mentioned in the very, very beginning. So if you're interested in doing this, I would give our sales team a call and go ahead and lock that down so that you can take full advantage of the most views possible before registration opens. We have our banner ad on our homepage, and we also have the banner ad on the ILTACON wrap-up page. Our wrap-up page is highly viewed. It is where photographs, videos, recordings, all kinds of things are listed on that wrap-up. It is a complete, I wouldn't call it a summary, but it's a complete compilation of the conference that just took place, and people go back and view that throughout the year as a reference. We have our wonderful keynotes. We have a keynote on Monday and a keynote on Wednesday. We have not announced these yet, so please keep this confidential. But on Monday, we will be having Hannah Fry. She is our main keynote. And if you have not heard Hannah Fry speak, you're missing a fantastic treat. I have heard her 2 times now. This will be my 3rd time. I've read all her books. I might be a little bit of a fan. But if you like data, you will love to listen to her. On Wednesday, we have our good friend Jeff McKissick coming to talk about security, which has been a real highlight for this year so far. So you will want to take a listen to him, but they're also both great to sponsor. You get an opportunity to speak before they speak to tell people a little bit about your organization and what you have going on before you introduce them. We also have a Thursday keynote package. This is for the keynote for Thursday and the closing reception. The CEO wrap-up for the conference is, or CIO wrap-up for the conference is one of our most highly attended and talked about sessions. Even if people don't always come in person sometimes because of scheduling, it is one of the most reviewed recording sessions that we have as well. All right. This year we have a relax and reflect room for sponsorship. This was a request because sometimes our conference can be a lot of noise, a lot of people. It's a great opportunity for them to relax, and many people will thank you for that. We have power zones that are located in the education session rooms, laptop lounge, and the power zones in the G100, G200 corporate legal day session rooms. I do want to mention on this part, if you're interested in G100, G200, and corporate legal day, G100 takes place on Monday, G200 takes place on Tuesday this year, and corporate legal day will take place on Wednesday this year. So we're kind of dividing them up a little bit, just so that you know. We have a daily fitness activation that is sponsorable. We have custom booth activations. If you're interested in this, these are pretty cool. If you notice last year, we had some coffee activations at NQ ZebraWorks. They had one of those, and that went really well. There are also like ice cream and cookies and different types of activations that you can have at your booth. So you can check into that. You can also up your professional brand. This is a sponsorable opportunity where we'll have a professional photographer come in and a hair and makeup artist so that you can, change your look on LinkedIn or for your professional benefit. We also have look like a local giveaway sponsor. If you sponsor this, people are going to remember you. We have 3 opportunities available for this. This is kind of like a silent auction. Members will come in. When they register, they'll get a couple tokens that they can go and drop in multiple jars. We will have cowboy boots available there. We will have cowboy hats. We will have local baskets of Jack Daniel's barbecue sauce and seasoning and all types of things in these baskets where people can attempt to win them. And so Obviously, if they're winning prizes and you've sponsored it, they're really going to want to have a chat. And you also get all of those leads from all those that go into those jars as well. We will be having an AI photo booth. If you're interested in this, this is a great opportunity to not only get all the leads, but also have your logo placed on the photos that these persons will be getting whenever they do the AI photo booth. This is actually pretty cool. You can look like a cowboy superstar or a, an astronaut or whatever. They've got some great things on that one. And then we have an AI generated drink recipe bar. This is actually a new opportunity for this year as well. Now, going into receptions and networking. So because we are in Nashville, we want to take full advantage of being in Nashville. So there's a lot of networking involved. We're looking at doing some line dancing classes starting on Monday and going through Thursday. And this will be taking place during our lunch time. And that way you'll be learning line dances throughout the week so that when it comes time for our reception on Thursday evening, you will be all set. We also have our regional team building. You're welcome to attend this. If you sponsor this, this is a great opportunity to not only work side by side with the people in the different regions doing their team building activity, but at the end of this, we will be giving away a social back in that region's area, and you would be the sponsor for that. So not only would you get the visual and I'm drawing a blank at this point. You'll get signage. You'll have your name out there. You'll have, we'll be announcing it. We'll mention you when we do the announcements. That'll take place not only on site at ILTACON, but when you're back in that region as well. We have our opening reception, which takes place on Sunday night. And then we have the Monday night exhibit hall opening reception that you can also sponsor. And just as a reminder, that exhibit hall opening night theme is A Tale of Tennessee. We're bringing the Living Hedge back this year. It will not only have alcohol, sometimes it'll have beverages or other types of snacks in there. This is a great way. If you noticed last year, no one sponsored that, but I will tell you the number of people that posted video and photo on LinkedIn was mind-blowing. So this would be a great way to get your name out there in a very fun way because people just love that. We have some smaller reception sponsorships that are also available, one of which is the Women Who Lead reception. And then in the exhibit hall on Tuesday and Wednesday afternoon, we will have ILTA's version of the Bluebird Cafe called the Redbird Cafe. We will be showcasing some local talent. They'll come in, they'll talk a bit, they'll sing some for you, but this will be a great, relaxing, enjoyable time in the exhibit hall taking place. It'll take place on the startup stage, but by that time of the day, it'll be called the Redbird Cafe. And you're welcome to sponsor those musicians as well. And then we have a general ILTACON entertainment sponsorship. There are 16 of those available because we will have music and entertainers with us all week long. We additionally have some thought leadership. We have the ILTA TV interviews and ILTA radio interviews that we will be offering, as well as company updates and masterclasses. We also have some sponsorships available for Corporate Legal Day. And of course, you can get additional badges. And then we have our Startup Hub. We have a few extra elements that are available in the Startup Hub this year. So if you are a startup, you do get the 10 by 10 space, 1 kiosk with 2 stools, standard carpet, colors, wastebasket, 1 standard electrical drop, and 2 full access conference badges. All right. Do I get to turn that over to someone else now? Jessica, is it you?
Dawn, maybe just one last look at our floor plan, and then we will definitely be turning it over to Jessica.
All right, so let's take a look at this floor plan. As you can see, this takes us to the exhibit hall front openings. So if you happen to have or will be choosing a booth, this is the entrance area. You can see these are the only doors that we will be opening during the event. So you can see the traffic patterns that people will be taking and the banners that will be available for sponsorship at the front of the exhibit hall.
Thanks so much, Dawn.
Absolutely.
All right, Jessica, space and housing requests.
Thank you, Tracy. And Dawn, I'm so glad I don't have to speak as long as you did. Wow, that was a lot. So yes, I know something that's on everybody's mind is getting space requests in for their events they want to host during ILTACON. So keep in mind that we will follow the same process we have in years past. We will have a form for you to complete to submit your request for space. Your BP representative will send that over to you, and we will follow up in order of the booth lottery results, which Ashley will get into here in just a minute. A couple of things to remember. ILTA, our team will review your space request, make sure we have all of the information in there. The company submitting the form must be at a silver level status or higher. And then we also have some times here during our keynotes and some special events that we're hosting that we ask nobody to host events while those are going on. So we'll take a peek at those, make sure all looks good, and then we will circle back on your space request form. We may have some additional questions to ask you, may toss around some ideas as to where you would like to be, looking at, do you want to be in meeting space versus do you want to be in one of the outlets? So we'll have that conversation, and then once we figure all of that out, we will get you in touch with a representative at the hotel, and from there, all of your planning will go through the hotel directly. So you will work with them for their banquet menus, for any setup specifications, all of that good stuff. As a reminder, we are working with PRA this year as our preferred partner for decorating. PRA also does provide great options for entertainment. They are a true destination management company and are a fantastic resource. But outlining the potential space options. So there are several outlets at the Gaylord. We've got the American Craft Tavern, Finley's, which is this really cute little space, great for intimate gatherings. Fuse Sports Bar, Jack Daniels, Old Hickory Steakhouse, Ravello, and then the Solario Cantina. We also have a lot of meeting space that's available as well. I know some of you like to host little meetings, breakfast meetings, etc. We have the Crystal Gazebo and Lionheads Fountain that are in the garden gazebo area, the garden mezzanine, I'm sorry. And then we have lots of areas in the Delta foyer space. So we've got the Delta Landing, the Delta Pavilion, Delta's Water's Edge, really fun for social gatherings. We have Sound Waves, of course, which is the fantastic water park that's on site. So many unique opportunities there. Could really lend itself to a fun gathering. And then we have portions of our Tennessee Ballroom allocated specifically for our business partners to utilize, as well as the pre-function areas for the Tennessee Ballroom and then the Presidential Ballroom. So we do have a video included in this slide deck for you that's going to show most of the outlets and some of the property. And then there's also a link there that's going to give you pricing information for the outlets for buyouts, etc. Moving on to housing. So housing is opening April 16th. We will run housing through Passkey, which is what we did last year. So it should look pretty familiar to you. The only difference this year is that we only have two ways that you can book rooms. So the first is going to be for people to be able to book individually once they have completed their registration. So you'll assign their comp benefit. They'll go in and complete their registration. They will then receive in their registration confirmation a booking link along with an access code where they can go in and book their rooms directly through that Passkey portal. Additionally, if you're bringing a group of rooms, and there will be 10 or more of them, you can submit a sub-block request form. This form will be processed by our team. We'll reach out to you, and we can get essentially a block of rooms secured for you. I'm going to jump down a little bit, but note that with these sub blocks, there will be either a 2 or 3 week deadline where you'll need to fill all of those rooms. So essentially, if you say, hey, Jessica, I need 25 rooms, great. I will get a block set up for you. And then you will either have 2 or 3 weeks to fill all of those rooms. There is no financial penalty if you don't. We will simply release any rooms that are not used at the end of your deadline. That 2 or 3 week span will be determined based on when you are submitting your subblock request form. So obviously, as we get closer to the convention dates, we'll have a shorter turnaround on those to make sure that we're able to sell all of our inventory to everyone that needs rooms. For those subblocks, the rooms can be booked one of 2 ways. So I can either give you a link to share with your group, and they can book individually, or you can provide me a rooming list. Keep in mind that with the upgrades, suites and upgrades are only available for purchase through your BP representative. So we're not able to add any upgrades or suites to your block. And then for billing, so there is a non-refundable one-night room and tax deposit that is required at the time of booking for all reservations this year. And again, that is non-refundable. So please do not make reservations unless you're certain you're going to use them. If you do the subblock, again, that will not be subject to the deposit until the reservations are actually made. If you want to pay for these deposits with a corporate card, or if you need to set up a master billing account for all of the rooms in your group, you'll reach out to housing@iltanet.org. I'll take a look at that and I will get you a link for a credit card authorization form. So we definitely want to be sensitive to that. A couple of reminders with housing. The room rate is $249 plus tax and a resort fee. So that totals $313.81 per room per night. The resort fee is $20 per day, and I've listed here everything that it includes, some really great offerings, so take a look at that. We're really fortunate that the Gaylord has provided us with this discounted resort fee. It's pretty heavily discounted, and we're happy to pass along that benefit to you while you're on site. And then again, a reminder of that non-refundable deposit. It is going to total $313.81 per reservation made. If you are wanting to pay for those deposits on a corporate card, make sure you reach out to us first so that we can set up that credit card authorization form. Otherwise, whatever card is being used to book the reservation will be charged that non-refundable deposit. And turning it over to Ashley to discuss the booth lottery results.
Hello all, Ashley Coates here, Customer Success Manager with ILTA. Thank you to all the sponsors that were part of the 2024 ILTACON booth lottery held last Thursday. If you are unable to attend, we have a screenshot here of the various tiers. To determine the lottery number, we used the website random.org/list and entered all of the eligible sponsors by tier. We randomized the list 3 times. Please know that there are 3 criterions to determine your final draft pick number. First, sponsorship tier. ILTA Max sponsors are the first tier to be selected, followed by platinum sponsors, then gold sponsors, and then silver. The second criteria, your category of years as a sponsor, which includes ILTA 365 and above, to determine your category. The data was pulled from 2016 through 2024, and please note that years did not have to be consecutive. The category levels are as follows. Category 1, 6+ years. Category 2, 4 to 5 years. Category 3, 2 to 3 years. And category 4 is all of our new sponsors, as we equated 1 year to their 2024 sponsorship. And lastly, your lottery number. You may have noticed your position may have shifted higher or lower from your initial lottery position due to the categories coming into effect. Your ILTA business partner rep should reach out to you with the updated list. If you have not received the list, please reach out. We will be sending invites out by the end of the week for your booth selection call. If you are joining this call and were not part of the initial booth lottery sponsors, we will queue you to the list once we have received your sponsorship payment. And now I am turning this over to Sharon Stewart to discuss the booth selection calls.
Thank you, Ashley. Hi, everyone. I'm one of the customer success managers also at ILTA. And just to kind of piggyback a little bit off of Ashley, the booth selection calls will begin next week on April 1st, and they will run through approximately the 19th. Our team will be sending out Zoom meeting invites this week for everyone in the lottery, and each call will last about 20 minutes. We have kept the various time zones in mind when scheduling the calls, but also please know that we will not have a lot of flexibility as to the date and time of your booth selection call. Prior to your call, please have a few booth options ready, along with any additional sponsorships you would like to secure for ILTACON. The first thing that we're going to do on the call is pick your booth, and then we will move to the additional items that you would like to secure or that you might have questions about before making a decision, such as the demo rooms, the clings, the banners, signage, or any of the other items that Dawn had mentioned earlier in the prospectus. We also recommend reviewing the floor plan and the ILTACON prospectus prior to your call, and be sure to update that, refresh the floor plan before your call also. Additionally, we do ask that you update your contact listings with us, which we would greatly appreciate so that we are reaching out to the correct individuals, and also for billing purposes, so that invoices are sent to the correct person, which will help eliminate delays and assure that we are sending all communications to the appropriate contacts. Similarly, please take a moment to update your directory listing so that we have the correct company logos, descriptions, social media information, etc. for your company. The links for the forms are being dropped in the chat, but if you miss copying them, please feel free to reach out to your customer success manager, as we would be happy to send those links to you. And finally, we will be sending out follow-up emails listing your booth number and any of the additional sponsorship selections by end of day on the date of your booth call selection. Thank you, and I'm going to hand this back to Tracy.
Thanks, Sharon. Everything else from this point on is going to be pretty much review. So if the team could take a look and see if there are any unanswered questions in the chat, take a look at those and know that we are getting close to wrapping up. So a Prepare for ILTA webinar would not be complete without reminding you that speaker applications are still open. They will close on April 22nd. And so we have information on the iltacon.org page. The Business Partner Committee has done an entire coffee with the BPC about how to craft a successful speaker application. And so be sure that you take a look at that, note the deadline, and apply early. Stand out by applying early, since a large portion of the applications do come in right at the very end. Couple of important dates and reminders for you. None of these should be new. Booth call selections begin, speaker applications close. Note that we've got, you're going to start to see some sponsorship deliverable deadlines coming up. Last day to submit a space request is going to be at the end of June. You just heard about when housing is going to open, which is April 16th. Well, housing is going to close on July 11th. And then August 11th, ILTACON will open. Now here, just in case you've missed any of our previous webinars, we do post them for recording on our webpage on the iltacon.org/agenda/webinars page. We've got a suggestion to host a watch party, and Dawn has an offering to try and get you to show proof of a watch party. Dawn?
Yes, yeah. So if you guys host a watch party with your team, take a photo of you guys watching our videos on how to have the best ILTACON possible. Post that on LinkedIn with a We Are ILTACON hashtag. You guys will be entered into a dinner at Old Hickory. It'll be two persons from your organization that will be welcome to come to this dinner. The dinner will include our CEO, Joy Heath Rush, ILTA President Tony McKenna, as well as one of our keynote speakers from ILTACON and a few ILTA members. If you're unable to, as a business partner, attend that dinner for whatever reason, you are welcome to give that to a customer or potential customer, or split it between the two. One person from your organization or one customer that you would like to bring that dinner as well. If you've never eaten an Old Hickory, it is an absolute treat. Very delicious meal. And so that's what we're looking at. So post those watch parties, take your photos, post them, and put that hashtag on there.
Awesome. Thanks. That does bring us to our last slide in the slide deck. And to be sure to reach out to your business partner contact should you have any questions. I did have a chance to scroll through the chat. I don't see any unanswered questions. Team, do you see anything in there, or do you see any reminders we should bring up before we close this one out? I'm not hearing anything, and I'm not seeing anything. All right, with that, a reminder, this webinar is being recorded. We are going to post a link to the recording as well as to the slide deck to our ILTACON page under the informational webinars within about 24 hours. If you have any questions, reach out to your business partner contact, and we look forward to working with you as we get closer to ILTACON. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.